Welcome back. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the professional identity of a really interesting creative entrepreneur, Keith Mallard.
That's right. He also goes by a unified brand name, KeeKeeDonz.
And looking through the materials, I think the big lesson here, the main takeaway, is just this incredible brand consistency. We're talking decades of creative work.
Absolutely. It's almost like a blueprint, For anyone trying to manage one of those modern multi-hyphenate careers, we've got platform profiles, summaries, even design pitches.
Yeah, a good mix of sources.
And what they really show is a clear strategy to avoid that fragmentation you often see.
So the subject himself, photographer, designer, illustrator, writer, author, that's a lot of hats to wear.
It really is. Yeah. But the smart part, I think, is how he simplifies it.
You mean the KeeKeeDonz name?
Exactly. The sources show he uses Keith Mallard, KeeKeeDonz, and then that hashtag KeeKeeDonz, just everywhere.
Okay, so that name, KeeKeeDonz, it's not just like a nickname.
No, it's definitely strategic. Think about it. When your work is that diverse, having one single brand name and hashtag across LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube.
Right, it pulls everything together.
Precisely. It means every new thing he puts out, whether it's a photo or a cartoon script, it all reinforces that central brand.
Yeah.
It's like footprint consolidation. Really smart.
Okay, let's unpack the timeline here, because the longevity it's pretty staggering.
Yeah, it really is.
We're seeing dedication to drawing since kindergarten, and then professionally as a photographer since 1985.
Yeah, do the math. That's almost 40 years of experience in his core field.
That's not just, dabbling. That's a deep, continuous practice over a lifetime.
And that kind of long-term commitment, well, it pays off. The courses point to a specific highlight in his life events.
The Photographer of the Year Award, June 2014.
Yep, that's the kind of formal recognition you get when you stick with something for decades. It shows real mastery, not just passion.
But it's not just raw talent driving this, is it? There's a solid business foundation, too.
That's a key point.
Yeah.
We see he has Associate of Arts degrees, Sacramento City College and Mount Diablo Valley College.
And crucially, they're in business, management, marketing, and related support services, not just art degrees.
Exactly. And that, I think, is really insightful. He's using that formal business education strategically. It's not just lines on the CV.
How do you mean?
Well, it gives him the structure, the grounding to handle all these different creative roles without seeming, scattered or unprofessional. He understands the business side of creativity.
The difference between just making art and actually running a sustainable creative business.
Right. And it makes sense of his broad photography work, too.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that. He covers so much ground: photojournalism, studio, documentary, even behind movie scene stuff. He says he'll shoot any event. Doesn't that risk diluting the brand, especially for someone recognized as Photographer of the Year?
That's the potential pitfall, sure.
Yeah.
But the way he seems to handle it is by filtering everything through a consistent storytelling lens.
So the type of event doesn't matter as much as the story he tells with the photos.
Exactly. The output, the narrative he creates, aims for that same level of impact. His pitch summaries kind of reveal this focus.
Let's look at those, the 15-second pitch for photography.
Yeah, it's not about gear. It's about compelling storytelling, making the audience feel like they were there.
See, that reframes the versatility. It's about narrative breadth, not just technical skill across genres.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then for design and illustration, the pitch connects directly to creating a unique world. He ties that straight into his clothing line, KKD Apparel.
So it all feeds back into that central idea, but with the phrase.
One design for your mind, that's presented as his core brand thesis. Everything has to align with that.
One design for your mind.
Okay.
And that dictates his business structure, too.
Seems like it. The two major ventures mentioned are KKD90 Photography, where he's founder and creative director.
And KKD Apparel, linked to his designer-photographer role.
It's all integrated. Even the writing pitch fits this pattern. It's about crafting powerful messages and engaging stories to grab attention. He's selling the impact of the communication.
Right. And this focus on story, it goes way back for him. The sources say his passion started in childhood. He was a big journal keeper, writing and illustrating.
So it wasn't just like a hobby he picked up later.
No, it seems like foundational practice, which leads to a really important point for creatives listening.
The intellectual property side.
Yes, that childhood journaling habit. It directly evolved into a specific creative project he has now called The Many Modes and Visualizations of Black Snow.
Right, the Black Snow universe with characters, scripts.
Yeah, a whole family of characters, one-page cartoon scripts. And the source material explicitly says this originated in those early journals.
Think about that journey for a moment. Personal childhood passion turning into actual marketable IP. That's a powerful model.
It really is. He managed to connect the dots from kindergarten drawing to a developed creative property. It's impressive.
And through all of it, there's this consistent message he keeps repeating in his profiles.
To create and inspire.
And my message stays the same. That sums up the consistency pretty well.
It really does.
Okay, so that's the internal message, the foundation. But how does he execute this digitally? Across different platforms, that's where a lot of creatives struggle, right? Keeping it consistent.
True. But he seems to blend the personal and professional pretty seamlessly. Let's look at Facebook.
Okay.
His profile is categorized as artist. That's a clear identity statement right there.
Okay.
And he's got decent engagement, 5.3K followers.
But the interesting part is the visuals.
I think so. He uses a personal photo for the profile pic, makes him seem approachable, human. But the cover photo, it's the professional KKD designer logo.
Ah, so the personal invites you in, the professional reinforces the brand, they work together.
Exactly, they don't clash. And then you look at LinkedIn and it's all professional rigor.
Right, the numbers are solid, 500 plus connections, 550 followers. He lists his location, Hillside, New Jersey.
And he details his experience with specific, valuable tools, like Adobe products. That speaks the language recruiters and collaborators understand.
It shows technical competence.
Definitely. And there's another layer too, sharing that
That's
knowledge.
the mentoring role in Sacramento.
Yeah, listed as a self-employed mentor. For creatives building a brand today, mentoring isn't just giving back. It also builds your own authority, establishes you as an expert.
That's a good point. It demonstrates leadership.
And speaking of expertise, the sources list out a really comprehensive skills stack. It goes way beyond just the job titles.
Which is useful, right? If you're looking to hire or collaborate, you need those specifics.
So for photography, it's not just photographer, it's photojournalism, lighting techniques, digital asset management, real technical skills.
And for design.
Graphic design, proficiency in Adobe Creative Suite Illustrator, InDesign specifically mentioned typography, visual communication.
So hard skills. But he lists other things too.
Crucially, yes. The business and soft skills are right there alongside the creative ones. Mentoring, time management, client relations.
That paints a picture of a well-rounded professional. Someone who gets both the art and the business.
Exactly. Someone reliable who understands the commercial realities.
And one last thing from the profiles. His interests.
Oh yeah, the list is extensive. Social causes like animal welfare, arts and culture, civil rights, politics, science, and technology.
It suggests a pretty broad perspective, someone engaged with the world around them.
Right. It adds depth, suggests his creative work isn't just happening in a vacuum. It likely informs the why behind what he creates.
So wrapping this up, what's the big picture here? What's the core lesson from Keith Mallard's or KeeKeeDonz's profile?
I think it's that his profile is much more than just a list of accomplishments. It's really a strategic blueprint.
A blueprint for managing a huge, diverse creative portfolio over, decades.
Under one single, incredibly consistent brand identity. Every piece of work, from those early drawings to his latest photojournalism.
It all seems to point back to and reinforce that central KeeKeeDonz message.
Precisely. And that consistency, that longevity. That's really the challenge for you, the listener, isn't it?
Okay, leave us with that final thought then.
Well, if you are a creative person building your brand right now, today, how do you actually future-proof your digital identity? How do you make sure that decades of your work, all the different things you might do, from illustrations to photos to maybe something else entirely, how do you make sure all of that can be pulled together and marketed coherently under one consistent, inspiring message, a message strong enough to last 40 years?